You got the right to roll when you're ready.
While it is incredibly difficult and it's incredibly taxing and it takes a long time.
What's the hurry? Okay, slow things down. You hurry up, you miss things. Okay, slow down, boom.
This is what we have to do to be able to serve the community.
How about stop? Everybody should know stop.
Alto.
Alto. Alto. Alto.
If we weren't out here 26 weeks, 12-hour days sometimes, we wouldn't be good enough. And I wouldn't want to be out there. I wouldn't want somebody protecting me that didn't have all this training.
How about open the door?
Abra la puerta.
Yeah, that's not bad. Abra la puerta. Yeah.
Understanding how diverse the city of Aurora is, we look at like some of the most recent census, and almost a quarter of the city's population is of Hispanic descent. So the likelihood of these guys, when they hit the road as officers encountering a Spanish-speaking individual, is very likely.
Izquierda is left, derecha is right.
The idea behind that is to make the scene safe. You arrive on scene, maybe we can't get to our investigation just yet, but we can make the scene safe and then slow things down. And then we can, request a Spanish-speaking officer or potentially use some of our language line services. We have interpreter services through the city that, they can just call a number, request whatever language they need, and then carry on after that. And not only that, but I think for those community members, when they're interacting with the police and they don't speak the English language, it's kind of refreshing to come across an officer that is actually somewhat trying to speak their language and trying to communicate to some degree.
And I'm actually above the elbow, and then from here I kind of grab and then I move them into position.
It's about safety to the officer and to the subject.
I'm keeping the weight loaded on that near side foot. I check.
The techniques are important. We talk about thorough systematic searches and pat-downs, and depending on scope and where we're at, they need to understand the difference between a search and a pat-down.
I follow with my thumb all the way up.
They need a technique to use, and we have 4 different searching techniques that we use.
Push your right hand behind your back again for me.
As well as some control holds and locks that we use for cuffing.
Right. Keep this, build it, step out to the side.
Just using hands, fingers, maybe the elbow joint. It's really cool to learn that you don't need that much to get somebody under control. It's a really cool process.
In and of itself, it seems very basic, but there are a lot of nuances within each technique that the recruits do have to learn, and that's where that 139 hours really comes in handy.
Especially coming from a military background, I'm like, there's not that much that I need to learn besides police part of it. I already know how to shoot, I already know how to drive, but then you learn the Aurora way, and you're like, okay, I have to forget everything I already know and relearn essentially things that you already think you knew or things you thought you knew but you don't really know. So it's a heavy learning process, but it's a great process.
But, they have to put in some work on their own too to properly prepare for testing and stuff, but also more importantly become proficient when it comes time to hit the road and do their thing out there and put their best foot forward as a Aurora police officer.
Yep, strong off, and shuffle pivots or shuffle steps back. Good. Here you go.
You can see that they're genuinely care about what they're saying. It's not just checking a box because they're in that role.
As time goes on, your confidence will build, all that kind of stuff, right? You just gotta relax and it's all coming together, birds.
They show the effort and they show that they actually care.
Yep. All right. Good. Yeah, that's it. All right. Good job, buddy. Yeah, right on. Good rep.
Everybody has a perfect picture of how they're going to act in these scenarios, so it was really nice to see how I reacted and where I could grow. So it was a really nice experience. It was real. It wasn't just running a scenario in your head. So I liked it. I enjoyed it. But it was hard. It was hard learning how to properly talk to someone in those moments.
Man, come to me.
It was a great learning experience overall, I would say.
Your dad called us. We're gonna see what's going on here and resolve it.
Yeah, I love my dad, but I don't know why he called you.
By using realistic scenario-based training, we can see if our recruits are applying the tactics appropriately.
So you get in there, what are they doing?
I feel like it obviously helps us kind of understand the process of how it actually works. In the classroom, you're stuck to just learning off of a board or a screen. In scenarios, you actually get to apply those tactics that you learn in classroom. It kind of gives you an environment to help understand what it is you're trying to accomplish.
coming up on the next episode of 26 Weeks.
For example, this is a robbery in progress, or there's a foot pursuit or something going on like that. I need to know how to get there, but if I'm trying to track it on my map, on my computer, you're going to be at a huge disadvantage. It's going to be a big distraction.